Hi children, welcome back to the Max class. So in the previous videos, I think we have discussed about the fractions. We started the chapter of fractions to learn the basic thing. And now we have discussed, just once let us recall the things which we have learned in the previous video. Okay, and then like we have discussed that fraction definition, that it is a part of a whole number. Okay, it is a part of a whole number. And after that we have segregated, we have seen the division, that means the types of fractions according to the numerators and denominators. Okay, now let us once see, just to recall for a very small moment, like how this, see, fraction is nothing but a part of a whole number. And after that we have learned that fraction is represented. How it is represented? It is represented in the form of a numerator which represents the part, and the denominator which represents the total number of equal parts into which the whole has been divided. Okay, into which the whole has been divided. So this is numerator and denominator. According to the numerator, what we have learned? We have learned that if the numerator is less than the denominator, what type of fraction did we learn? We have learned it about, yes, we have learned that it is nothing but a proper fraction. Okay, and if the numerator is greater than denominator, it is improper fraction. And if the numerator equals to 1, we call it as a unit fraction. Yes, so these are the things we have learned. And regarding the denominator also, we have learned that if the denominator is the same, we tell it as a like fraction. And if the denominator is different for the fractions, then we tell it as an unlike fraction. So these are the types which we have learnt in the previous video in detail along with the examples. Now let us learn, there are some more types which are not dependent completely on the numerator and denominator. So let us learn in today's video. So the next type of fraction which we will be learning is, the mixed fraction. What is it, children? Mixed fraction. Mixed fraction. What is this mixed fraction? What do you mean by a mixed fraction? I'll tell you. Mixed fraction means a fraction which has a whole number and along with a proper fraction. That means the indication of this fraction is a whole number first, initially a whole number which have an proper fraction. How can you tell it's a proper fraction? Can we tell that this is a proper fraction? How? Yes, because the numerator is less than the denominator. If the numerator is less than the denominator, what type of fraction it is? So if you close this whole number, this fraction is a proper fraction. So the definition of the mixed fraction is that the mixed fraction means a fraction which has a combination of a whole number and a proper fraction. Okay, is that clear to all of you? Yes. So this is an example, like I've taken an example and have said you that how this mixed fraction is represented. Okay, yes. So we'll write in a very shortcut, combination of whole number and proper fraction. Now see, this is the representation of a mixed fraction. Mixed fraction will be looking like this. Okay, so did you understand this type of fraction? So yes. And now going to the next things are, we cannot tell that it is the types of fractions, but these are the terms to be learned when we are going into the chapter of fractions. Okay, the simplest form. What is the simplest form? Yes, the simplest form of a fraction is that the numerator and the denominator has only one as a common factor. It will not have any common factors. Did you understand? Yes, once we will see along with the example why it has only 1 as a common factor for the numerator and denominator. Now let us take for example 3 by 6. Okay, this is the numerator and this is the denominator. But now this is not the simplest fraction. This is not the simplest fraction. Why? Because they are having more than 1. That means they are not having only 1 as a common factor. They are having more than 1 factor they are having. So see, this is in 3 table and this is in 3 table. It have even 3 as a common factor here. Yes. So 2 factors we are having. Now if the fraction is given like this, what we should do is you should divide the number numerator and denominator with the same number. Numerator and denominator you should divide with the same number. Okay, so divide the number, write the answer. 3 divided by 3 is 1, where 6 divided by 3 is 2. And now you find that 1 and 2 are the simplest form of the fraction. Why? Because 1 and 2 cannot be divisible in any other table except for 1. So they are having a common factor as 1. So as they have the common factor as 1, we tell that this is the simplest form of fraction. Okay, did you understand, children? Let us take one more example. We'll take a little bit 2-digit numbers so that it will become, you can understand much better. Okay, so 16 divided by 18. Let me take 16 divided by 18. Okay, now tell me, can you tell me in which table this will be divisible? Yes, so please don't forget, I told you already, factors and multiples. Before starting the factors and multiples and after starting that also, I have already told you that divisibility rules are very, very, very important in our life in order to crack some questions very fastly. Yes. Yes, so as this number ends with 6 and this number ends with 8, what happens? As these both are even numbers, it will be divisible directly by 2. Okay, so divide the numerator and see, you cannot divide this number with 2 and you cannot divide this number with 4. No, that is a mistake, children. You should divide both the numbers in the same table. That means you should search for that. You understand? See, suppose if this number is not divisible, I cannot do anything. You should not divide it. Suppose, for example, I will tell you, see, this number 16 is divisible in 4. So, if I want to divide that number with 4, I should check whether the denominator can also be divisible in 4 or not. If it is not divisible, you should not divide it. That is a mistake. Understand? Yes. So, let us take 2 table and here also 2 table. The answer 16 divided by 2 is nothing but 8. And 18 divided by 2 is nothing but 9. But see, this 8 and 9, though these numbers are big numbers, that means in a single digit numbers, if they are big numbers though they are big, they have a common factor 1. That means except in 1, they cannot be divisible in any other table. Okay. So 8 by 9 cannot be divisible in any other table except for 1. So we call 8 by 9 as a simplest form of the fraction. Did you understand, children? Yes. Yes. So this is one of the type. And the next type of the thing what you regularly learn in fractions is the equivalent fractions. Equivalent fractions. What is this equivalent fractions? Equivalent fractions means the fractions which have the same value. Okay, equal value. Equivalent means fractions which are having the same value. That means equivalent, equal value. If they are having equal value, then we tell them as equivalent fractions. Okay, so how is this? What is this equivalent fractions? How they are going to have the same value? Yes, let us see. Suppose if I take an example of 3 by 5. Actually, this is the simplest form of the fraction because it is not divisible in any other table except for 1. Yes, but I can write equivalent fractions for this. See, check it out, children. Look here, everyone. So, initially, when you want to write any equivalent fractions for any fraction, see that here you multiply. In simplest form, how you divide the numerator and denominator with the same number. In the similar manner, we will be multiplying the numerator and denominator with the different numbers except for 1. Don't multiply with 1 because you get the same number. Okay, so multiply with 2. Suppose 3 2s are 6 and 5 2s are 10. This 6 by 10 is an equivalent fraction for 3 by 5. I can write still more. I can just rub this 2. I can multiply it with the next number. 3 and 3. 3 3s are 9 and 5 3s are 15. Still more. Yes, we can write 10. 3 4s are 3 4s are 12 and 5 4s are 20. Now here I have written 3 fractions which I told that they are equivalent fractions. I'll tell you how they are having equal value. How they are having equal value. See, suppose if you take one fraction from here, 6 by 10. Now convert this into the simplest fraction. Convert them into the simplest fraction. In which table they'll be divided? Yes, very good. 2. Yes. So divide the number with 2. Both numerator and denominator with 2. So 6 divided by 2 is 3. By 10 divided by 2 is 5. Means when you bring these equivalent fractions to the simplest form, you get the same value of the original fraction. You get the fraction as it is. That means you get your original fraction as it is for any of the numbers. Suppose you take 12 by 20. See, suppose you take 12 by 20. So if you divide, first suppose let us divide it with 2. Okay, initially with 2. So divide it with 2 and even divide this one also with 2. 12 divided by 2 is 6 by 20 divided by 2 is 10. But it is still divisible, no? You cannot stop the simplest form like this when you are doing. Why? Because you should bring to the lowest thing. That means where it cannot be divisible by any number. So again divided by 2 and you get 6 divided by 2 is 3 by 10 divided by 2 is 5. See, again you get the same number. Yes. So that is the reason why we called equivalent fractions. It means the fractions which are having equal value. Did you understand? Yes. So if you want to write equivalent fractions, you can simply multiply the numerator and denominator other than 1 with any other number. Like, okay, you can write, suppose if they have asked you to write 5 equivalent fractions, it means that you can multiply with 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, up to your wish. It is not necessary to multiply only with these numbers. You can multiply with any numbers. With whatever number you multiply, remember that even if you multiply with a bigger number like 12, suppose I want to multiply 3 with 12. If you want to multiply with 12, multiply the denominator also with 12 itself. So that 3 12s are 36 by 5 12s are 60. This also is an equivalent fraction for 3 by 5. Yes, did you understand how they have the same value? Yes, equivalent. That's what I am telling you, children. Maths actually, so most of you feel that it's a very tough subject. No, it depends upon actually the terminology. So, if we can understand the meaning of the terminology, you can understand the concept much better. Okay, so equivalent means having the fractions which are having equal value. Is that clear, children? Yes. So in today's class we have discussed about the other types of fractions like mixed fraction, simplest form of the fraction and equivalent fraction. Yes. Yes. So in the next upcoming videos let us discuss about the arithmetic operations for like fractions, unlike fractions and all the topics which are there, all the concepts, each and every concept which are there here, so that it makes your chapter of fractions easy. Okay, that is only our wish. Okay, thank you, children. Thank you for watching. Please share, like and subscribe.